quarterly meeting underway. Hope everybody enjoyed lunch. And would like to welcome everybody. Glad to see y'all. It's good to see some old faces, some new faces. Those that have never been, thanks for being here. I think this is one of the better things we do each year, and I really enjoy it. And I hope y'all did too. I hope you're having a good time, and hope that you can stay for tomorrow's memorial service, which will be at 3 o'clock. And if you can, we would certainly love for you to be there and participate in that. And if I could, the fine people that helped make this a reality, some of our sponsors. And if I could, I'd like to go ahead and recognize some of those. If Zarina, would you come up? Zarina Harmon with our insurance benefits.
Thank you, guys. I just want to tell you thank you so much for being here, and we always are happy to be able to sponsor anything that brings you here together and have you all here with us. We have Stuart here with BB&T. He's one of the sponsors. We had some that sponsored that weren't able to come because of the weather. Provident, as you know, Jim and Barry would love to be here, and Kyle and George Johnson. Stuart, you want to take your words?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for your time, and we appreciate you giving us the opportunity to support you guys. Very surprised that Zarina did not call me Travis. Travis is the guy I work with up in the upstate. I'm out of the Bluffton office. We work with these guys to with their association health benefits with Blue Cross of South Carolina. I've talked to several of you in here about the plan, but we'd really like to talk to all of you about the plan because it's a really good benefit for you all. It's something that you can't get anywhere but through the association. People can match benefits, but they can't put you all together like they can through here. So it really helps you save money in the long term and helps you save money in the short term as well. So I'll be around. If anybody has any questions or wants me to set up some time with you to talk to you later, just come by and see me. Thank you very much.
All right, if I could get Pete McNeil from Belfour to come forward.
I appreciate you guys and ladies. For those of you that have heard me before, I'm only going to take about 20 minutes of your time. No, seriously. On behalf of Belfour, I want to thank the association for allowing us to be a sponsor and to actually perform a presentation today. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a retired fire chief from Florida, had 40 years career in Florida, and now work for Belfour as a liaison to the fire service. One of my counterparts, Ray Ahonen, is here from Michigan. He's also a retired fire chief, well over 30 years in the fire service. But anyway, we just want to thank you. I'm readily available throughout the year, 365, to come and help y'all or anything we can possibly do with y'all. So just hit me up. Our cards are available, and thank you again.
One of the sponsors that we enjoy a great partnership with is Fire Protection Publications and IFSTA. We do an incredible amount of business with those folks, thanks to the Academy and to each of you that order supplies and material. One of the guests that we typically have with us is Mike Sturzenbecker. Mike's a great guy, familiar face to many of you. Weather kept him, I think, back at home today, but on behalf of that group, I just would like to say thank you and let us know at the association office if there's anything that we can do for you with our fire protection publication books. Certainly we have a lot of other associations that help partner with this, but you're going to hear from some of those later in this business agenda. And so that's just some of our sponsors that were from outside of those groups. We'd like to move on in the agenda to our next item, which is really talking a few moments about our Leadership Institute program. Typically, our Leadership Institute runs from the 1st of October and concludes in September, but weather has plagued us this year, and in our October quarterly meeting, as you may remember, was postponed, called off because of the floods. And here we are with this one with the winter weather. So we've been blessed this year, but typically we would be doing this part of our exercise, our evolution, at our October meeting over at Denny Auditorium. So we're a little behind, but we each year get to thank and recognize the graduates of our Leadership Institute. Now, I'm going to tell you, in case it's new to you, a little bit about what Leadership Institute is for those in the room that may not know it. We developed a year-long program where we bring in a very small group of individuals from all walks of the profession around the state to help improve and develop fire service leadership at the state level through networking, education, and education pertaining to all the facets that the fire service in this state presents. This is the 5th year that we've done this program. This group that's graduating, I think it was the 4th group or the 5th group, keep me honest, folks, my time was, this is the 5th group that's graduating. It's fun for me each year just to see the new faces and names. When these people come into the program typically in October, they may or may not know each other, and so the name face isn't there, but as you go through the year, the camaraderie and the networking and the relationships build to the point where by year's end, it's a tight-knit group. And we're already seeing benefits at the state fire service level because these individuals are then serving in other committees and other associations. So we're reaping incredible benefits. But during this year, during that year's activities, they will talk about just about everything in the fire service, good and bad, whether that's from ISO issues or legislative, political issues with our General Assembly. They look at a lot of our different state assets and visit those different agencies. We visit and look at volunteer systems, combination systems, paid systems in detail to learn about not only labor but also some of the training issues that they have. Frankly, we use them as slave labor at our conference. We appreciate that very much, but it gets them in behind the scenes of what's arguably the biggest training event in the Southeast, so we appreciate their labor pool in that. But I think, again, the lasting benefit to this program is the relationships that are built. Relationships amongst those individuals because they now call themselves friends, or some of them will anyway, and they call us friends, and you, because they've been exposed, and going back to our program last night, they've been infected, if you would, with that fire service mantra, and it's really been an incredible program. This year we had 8 individuals that graduated from this program, and it's with this that I would like to recognize them now. And as I call their name, if they would please come up front and remain standing up front as we go through this. But on my behalf, I just would like to say congratulations to this group. If you would please, Adam Aguirre, Rock Hill Fire Department, please come. Next graduate from Gaffney Fire Department is Jody Brazington, but I think that Jody's probably caught up in the weather, and so please, we'll offer his presentation to him back home at a later time. Our next, Ryan Eubanks, Clear Springs. I think we have similar opportunity here with Shane Gibbs in Oconee County. We'll make sure that he gets that also. Jason Hendrick, Batesburg, Leesville. Got it? Randy Hunter, Lovell Township. Brad Mattis, Dalton. And likewise, Johnny Rabin of Boiling Springs is busy taking care of his community back home. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is our 2014-2015 Leadership Institute class. Photo opportunities for a second, if you would, please. This group had a special project that they took on this year that we'd like to share an opportunity a little bit with now. And they came up with this idea amongst themselves, and I think it's a good one. Being the fifth group, there are others that have gone before. And they had the concept and idea that they wanted to honor the alumni of this program, of which there are a number in this room. So they came up with a Leadership Institute coin that Brad is kind of hoping. Go ahead, you show and hold around. They would like to present to the alumni, the members of Leadership Institute that have graduated before them. So in no particular order, if you are a graduate of that program, would you please come forward at this time?
All right, one more time for our Leadership Institute guys. All right, at this time, we'll go ahead and get into our committee reports. Kyle Minnick, Legislative. Oh, and I did want to say one thing, that Kyle's not wearing the right shirt.
Cannot pull off the denim. Legislative has kicked off this year, working hard to stay ahead of some of the items that was a carryover from last year that Skip and the committee worked hard on. I do want to let you know real quick who the committee members are, because probably the next few weeks you're going to be hearing from these committee members, asking you for your help and support as we continue to push legislation through down in Columbia. Phil Jolly, Jeff Allen, Dr. Buzzard, Chief Wary from Somerville, Marion Blackwell, have all agreed to stay on the committee, and we added Mike Edmonds from Columbia Fire Department to our committee this year. So these gentlemen will be reaching out to you in the very near future. Arson, we talk about this, it seems like every year, or every time a member of the committee gets in front of you. This year we're pushing it hard and heavy. We're going to need your help probably in February, but right now as it stands, it still indicates it's going to move through. We're working down in Columbia. Chief and Cindy are working hard, but I think if things don't happen by February, we may have to get together and really push at our local level with our legislators to move this through. Shows that if it's not moving through in February, it may stall again, and we do not want that to happen. Big bill we're working on again, we've kind of partnered up with others, is the PTSD bill. Senator Thurman out of Charleston is working on that. Last week I spoke at the Charleston County Fire Chiefs Association and asked them to help us in the Charleston area really work with Senator Thurman. We're going to need your help as well, because there's other senators around the state who are working and putting their name on that bill that we need to show full support for in that. We're definitely a coalition with the law enforcement community, so it affects more than just firefighters. So we're working with our other agencies out there to make sure we push this through. Another thing that Joe's working on with Cindy and Chief is our retirement. We had a joint meeting with the law enforcement community and the board of directors last week on our retirement. And just to give everyone a heads up, there is an increase coming to the employee and the employer for your contributions. Terrible markets has really played a toll on our retirement. So again, I don't know when that's coming. Joe said it may be in a year, it may be in 2 years, but just know those increases may be coming to the employer and the employee. one of the biggest things we can do is work together. Am I doing that or you doing it?
You do it. That's all right.
I won't touch it. We need your help at home. We talk about this a lot. Every legislative chair talks about this a lot. We need your help at home. You need to reach out to your local elected officials who serve in Columbia, because we are working for our program for March 16th for our legislative day. That's really one of the biggest days we get together on the State House grounds to talk to our legislators. But we find that more times than not, those who have a rapport with them back at home get a better reception when they go to Columbia. So we really need the boots on the grounds now, working back at home with your local state senator and state representative. The program will be coming out very shortly from the office. We want your help. I challenge the Charleston County Fire Chiefs again to show up in force. I think every year we see a good showing from the upstate. So I challenge all 13 departments to send at least one rep, if not more. And I want the fire chiefs there, and we want firefighters there. I think it's important that we have a good spectrum of firefighters and fire chiefs to show we're a unified front. All of our association partners will be there, so we need the firefighters and the boots on the ground to be there as well. So any questions about legislative issues, please grab one of us after the meeting. We'll be happy to keep you up to speed on that. And that is my report.
And next is, I can't wait to hear what exciting or innovative ideas our recruitment retention coordinator Brian Riggs got for us today.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon, everybody. No. Good afternoon. That's a little bit better. I don't care what Jacob Patrick has said about me in this room today. Don't believe it, all right? Don't believe it. I am excited. A year ago this time, I stood here and said at this conference we would announce some departments who had reached out and had hit their help level. Here, everyone loyally participates. But chiefs or designees, what I need is some good data. And every time I go to the association's website and I check Form 101 to see how many of you are doing that work, I don't have complete data. Yes, garbage in, garbage out, but if I've got good garbage going in, at least I can report something out that's whole for the last or the most current year. So may I ask you, please, when you get home, go to the member management site, check your data for your department, record the number of personnel, equipment, all that information that's there, and help us keep up with that. Want to just bring you up to date with the 2011 SAFER grant. We have entered the last year of that grant program. A key component of that is in place across South Carolina. Some of those instructors are here. I see Hemby Smith over here, who is teaching at Sumter County. Chiefs, those of you who are part of that process, I thank you so much. We started out year one with 12 schools. Year two, we had a 100% increase. There are over 250 high school students across the state of South Carolina who are studying Firefighter 1 and 2. If they successfully complete that program, they'll roll out with dual certifications. If they pass all their tests, that will make them work ready in this state and across our nation. I want to let you know once again that that grant has scholarship dollars predominantly to go to the high school students who are graduating, any high school graduate who is moving on to a college level or a technical school level to study fire or EMS. We are also utilizing those dollars if you have someone you want to send to candidate school. There are some departments in here who have utilized that by show of hands. How many departments have gotten some scholarship dollars to send someone to candidate school? Dorchester County. Anybody else? Dorchester. Going once, going twice. Over here. All right. Those dollars are there. The application is on the association's website. Go to resources, scroll down to recruitment and retention. The SAFER scholarship is there. Please fill it out, submit it, it comes to me. If you've got any questions, contact me and I'll walk you through that. We've also been able, with that grant, to bring in some national speakers. Enjoyed traveling across the state in the fall of 2015 to 4 locations. We brought in Mike D'Alessandro. A number of firefighters from across the state were able to enjoy and attend his training. Unfortunately, that did occur right around the flooding time. The numbers were down a little bit, but it was good to bring him in. How many of you are familiar with Frank Viscuso, Step Up and Lead? All right, show of hands. Yes. This scholarship or this grant is bringing Frank into our conference this summer in Myrtle Beach. I know he'll be with the Chiefs first part of the week. He's got some floor time with us in the big room and then some breakout sessions. So if you haven't received a copy of this book, may I encourage you to pick up a copy before you ever get to the beach. It's not a plug for him, but it's good, valuable material here because part of that grant was to help increase and build the leadership capabilities of the membership of our fire service here in the state of South Carolina. All right, the 2013 grant where we're working presently right now, that grant went to the opposite end of the spectrum, away from the high school kids and went into the adult population. When that grant was written, it was directed to specifically put dollars into the 1700 series, a new modularized program that the Fire Academy developed that fire chiefs, fire agencies could utilize a handoff course for you to train your own people. In these particular 11 counties, all right, Allendale, Bamberg, Berkeley, Calhoun, Chesterfield, Hampton, Jasper, Lawrence, Marlboro, McCormick, and Union. The dollars go into those 11 counties. The Department of Homeland Security has authorized the use of those grant dollars not only for the 1700 series, but also if you are training people to the Firefighter 1 level. The grant dollars will pay for personal protective clothing, a full ensemble, head to toe, for everybody that's in that class after they have been approved and received the fitness for duty physical. Just recently completed that process with 2 vendors in the state. North Greenville Fitness will be conducting the physicals in these 11 counties, and then the equipment component will be provided after we pay for it, or after DHS pays for it. Poseidon Equipment Company, Fire Decks, fire gear, head to toe, helmet, flash hood, coat, suspenders, boots, pants, and the gloves. So full complement of physicals for those individuals and full complement of PPE. And then if they remain active with your agency for at least 12 months, there's a small length of service award program that will be paid to them and put in an account for them to build. So those are some of the provisions of this last grant. I would encourage, if you are a member of one of these counties, you're a member of a department in that county, please speak with myself. There'll have to be some very close coordination, of course, with our folks at the Fire Academy, your regional directors with the Academy, to get the classes in place and move forward, and working with the vendors to get the physicals and the gear in your hands. But the dollars are there. Let's don't return them to Washington. Let's use them in the state of South Carolina. Have any questions? I'm here for the remainder of the week. Thank you very much.
Tony Dix is here to update us on the Volunteer Fire Council.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Myself and Mr. Mutt Bozard from Clarendon County are your representatives to the National Volunteer Fire Council, and I thank the association for allowing us to do this continuously from year to year. We meet twice a year, once in the spring, once in the fall, and your South Carolina State Firefighters Association is going to host the NVFC in North Charleston this fall, and we're going to show them a little bit of Southern hospitality. They made it to Charlotte, this past fall, and we had to break it down a little bit further. But anyway, a couple of years prior to when I graduated high school, a publication came out called America Burning. It concluded that the United States surpassed all other industrialized nations in fire deaths and in property loss, and more was needed to be done to prevent and control fires. A couple of federal agencies along the same time were being developed, and that was called the United States Fire Administration and the National Fire Academy. And there was no congressional fire caucus, and 85% of the nation's fire service was volunteer, with no influence on federal legislation or national matters of importance to the volunteer fire service. It was in this climate that 7 state firefighters associations got together in Chicago to discuss the issues of the volunteer fire service on matters of a national level. And 5 months later, with 18 state firefighter associations, including this one, meeting in Memphis, Tennessee, the NVFC was officially organized. That would be in March of 1976. So in just a few months, the NVFC is 40 years old, and we're proud of that. Today, the NVFC has done a lot of work over the years, and you know, if you really go back and look at what we've gone through and where we are today, we try to continue with the trend. Today, the volunteer firefighters no longer represent 85% of the nation's volunteer fire service, but just 69%, which is a 16% drop. We're no longer an organization whose primary function was just to put out fires. And since 1980, fires have reduced by half, while the EMS calls have quadrupled in the fire service. Recruiting membership in a volunteer fire department is harder than ever before. Today's volunteer firefighter must be a recruiter, and organizations must market themselves to survive. Volunteer firefighters now participate in research, and they apply the data that they gather out of that when it's made available. And the volunteer firefighter is an all-hazards responder in a world where the fire danger is hotter and faster than ever before. Currently, the NVFC represents 49 states in its association. I don't know who can tell me who's the state that won't play with us, but we're trying our best to get them involved. Is the state of Hawaii. We would like to go out there and have a Hawaii doesn't have just a very small handful of volunteer fire service representation, and so they don't have an organization that would represent with us. But anyway, the 49 state firefighters associations, as well as 20,000 individual and department members, are represented by the NVFC today. The NVFC over the last 40 years has been there to meet the challenges of the volunteer fire service that they faced and address the critical issues head on. And some of the groundbreaking work that we've done over the years is we've been a part of the shoulder to the AFG program. We're there every year at the congressional level, and we'll talk about a little bit of things we've been doing with that in just a moment. EMS rescue section has been developed into the NVFC because we saw a need for that. There's behavioral health assistance through the NVFC. There's cancer awareness and a heart healthy firefighter program through the NVFC. There's a citizen support group through the Fire Corps program that was part of the NVFC. And then also it's instituted the National Junior Firefighter Program, the Make Me a Firefighter campaign, which deals with recruitment and retention, and the virtual classroom training is available through the NVFC. So much has changed since 1976. The fire death rate has dropped by 70%, and on-duty firefighter deaths have declined. Firefighter safety has drastically improved, but we face new and existing challenges and dangers such as firefighter cancer, post-traumatic stress, apparatus accidents, and heart attack. The NVFC will continue to work to lower the risk, to protect the volunteers, and by proxy, the fire service and the firefighters of this nation. This weekend, on your agenda, you've talked about some things that are key on point with what we're doing with the NVFC, such as your cancer issues, just some financial success planning, and trying to get some things straightened out there. Fire-based EMS, that's coming up. Statistical data, being able to put that information together. And the thinking firefighter in a hotter and faster fire environment. Almost through, guys. Now let's jump into some. This week, some fresh news that we've gotten. Congressman Richard Hanna, as a Republican from New York, has put together draft legislation that would create a national database registry to collect data about firefighters who contract cancer. And it carries an appropriation of $2.5 million per year from the years 2017 to 2021. The NVFC is helping with the language on that draft and will support the bill once it's introduced. So that's good news. Some of the other stuff that's going on, y'all know recently that Congress just passed their omnibus spending bill, and inside that bill, as a surprise to us, there was a $5 million increase for both AFG and SAFER. We were anticipating an increase for the United States Fire Administration, but they were held the same at $44 million. The Volunteer Fire Assistance Act was held the same at $13 million. That's your forestry money that you get from state forestry. We were asking for an additional $1 million. There's been a substantial increase in the United States Forest Service, however, for wildland fire suppression, dealing with our wildfires out west and things like that. And so that's been an improvement for us. And last of all, you know, provisions are now made permanent in the James Zadogro 9/11 Health Compassion Act. So that's good news. The NVFC works hard at the legislative level in Washington to try to come up with some good ideas and get some things going. And like you say, with the AFG program, we were able to get a little bit more funding in place. It was a surprise to us that it was in there, and we didn't think it was going to happen. Some other stuff we're working with, like you say, is the Volunteer Emergency Service Recruitment Retention Act. That's going to be a program in place that will turn around and try to help the volunteer fire service gather more people by being able to allow you to have a better LoSAP program to maybe use it as an attraction tool. The Volunteer Responder Incentive Act is another one that deals with your limits that the IRS is going to tax or whatever you for benefits you might receive from your volunteer fire department. We're trying to shelter some of that. And the United States Fire Administration appropriations, again, we're trying to continue to promote that. There's a thing called the Fire Police Fairness Act. Not a lot of that in South Carolina, but there are some places where people are fire police, and they do a lot of traffic control, is what they are. They're retired firefighters or they're retired police officers that go out and volunteer. Trying to get those guys recognized, you know, as being official firefighters or whatever, because what happens, they're not in the public benefit as far as if there's a line of duty death, whatever, they're not recognized. We're trying to get those folks involved. And then let's see, I'm trying to get to the last step here. There's a Fire Sprinkler Incentive Act, which we're trying to reduce the number of years that you can get a tax credit for doing automatic fire sprinklers in there, so it'll encourage more businesses to do it and property owners. And we're also trying to fix it where it'll be a tax credit for installing it in commercial properties as well. There's a new thing we're working on for federal home loan programs for volunteers. And we're trying not to invent a new wheel, but maybe we want to try to tag along with some of the programs that are already out there with the Department of Agriculture about perhaps if I'm a volunteer firefighter, I get a little bit more of a discount break in my interest rate some kind of way. So we're working on some things there, trying to get some of that going. But anyway, the NVFC is trying to find out what they can do to continue to support the volunteer fire service. They understand its struggles and what's going on. And we got, like I said, representation on just about everything there is. We're trying to make sure that the Pell Grant Award is not held against you in your PSOB award, you know, because they're saying, well, that's money you're getting, you're not going to get as much on your PSOB for your children's education. We're getting that straightened out, but that won't be considered as part of it. So there's a lot of good things going on. We're trying to keep them straight in Washington. That's a hard job to do. We get a lot of support from your association when we go to Washington, and we get a lot of phone calls made to the representatives from South Carolina, and they usually stick right with us and do a good job for us. So, has anybody got any questions about the NVFC and what we're doing? You need to join the NVFC. It's not that hard to do, and you can get it and send your dues right on through our association office if you want to. There's a insurance benefit there for your membership as well, and all the goodies that you get out of us and some dialogue back and forth on what's going on in Washington. Thank you.
Report from our finance and audit chair, Marquis Solomon. Marquis, that denim looks good on you, buddy.
Good afternoon. I would like to say thank you, Mr. President, for this denim. I feel like 1991 all over again. All right. I wish I had something that was really exciting to say, but on the finance side, if it's not exciting, that means that's a good thing. So while we've been doing a lot of movement, a lot of work, one of the big things that we've done, we had switched from our past auditing firm, which was Burkett and Burkett. We moved to Green Finney Horton, and as part of that process, is kind of taking the auditing process and stretching out a little longer than normal. However, we do expect to have that audit performed, at least a draft, have it completed by the beginning of February. So that is a plus. Just to give you a little background, Green Finney Horton, that's the firm that audits the foundation, and they were selected through a competitive process. We put an RFP out, and they still managed to rise to the top. So we do have a relationship with them. So as far as keeping track of finance, we feel really good about that. Some of the things that have kind of caused this to go on a little longer also is that the two auditing firms, they have to talk to each other to get some information from each other, dealing with fixed assets and things of that nature. Some of that has been completed, so we should see it move along a little faster. But like I said, great thing is we don't have an abundance of stuff to really, talk about other than the change in auditing firms, because we do have to make sure that we keep track of finances, because without the finances, none of this happens. So we'll continue to do so. So if you all have any questions about anything to do with finance and auditing, please come see me. All right, thank you.
Our advisory committee is responsible primarily for selecting individuals, whether it's for awards for this association or for things like our Leadership Institute. And our chairman wasn't able to be with us due to weather related, so I'm just going to offer a couple of pieces of information. The first, I would say, is our awards. For all of our awards, the deadline is, well, next week. So it's important to know that if you have individuals that have accomplished something significant in your departments, whether that's a meritorious action or whether you think that individual is a superlative for a firefighter a year or a Hall of Fame award, whatever the case may be, check those things out on our website and go to our awards page. It's important that your individuals in your department are recognized by this state association. So I know the time is short, you got a week, but a little homework tonight or the first of the coming week. We would love to have your applications. In addition to that, it's typically again at our October meeting that the chairman of advisory announces to this group who the incoming class of Leadership Institute is. And if you would, we'll hold our applause until the end. I'm just going to read through a list of names of those individuals as they are here. If you would please just come up and stand at the front as a group, and we'll take another photo opportunity with that. So, if you would please, the 2015-2016 Leadership Institute attendees will be Billy Bishop, Cherokee Creek and Gaffney Fire Departments, Mike Edmonds with Columbia Fire Department, Michael Hannison with Charleston, Kevin Henson with Piedmont Park, Rusty Jennings with Irmo, Chris Jones, Buffalo, Mount Pisgah, Jacob Patrick, Hartsville, Jenna Pritchett, the Fire Academy, Adam Williams with Oconee County, Tracy Williams with Westview Fair Forest, Teddy Wolf with Orangeburg County, and Benjamin Woods Jr. with Somerville. Ladies and gentlemen, upon the arrival of those individuals who are coming from the back, I'll introduce to you again our 2015-2016 Leadership Institute class. Good luck. They've already begun to meet and actually have done several weekend programs. They're fixing to do another coming up, so they're well underway for their year's programs. Up next, the next presentation will be from our Member Benefits Committee Chair, Chief Dennis Ray.
Well, let me address the shirt issue first. Shirt issue first. Ironed, hung up last night, ready to go this morning. Never wore the shirt before. Put it on this morning, and it comes up to about right here. Go to button it up, just not happening. I'm a fan of denim, Mr. President, you know. One of two things occurred. Either Dennis Ray gained a lot of weight over the holidays before this was introduced, and I can no longer wear an extra large, which, by the way, this is an extra large. All right? So I'll clear that up. Or number two, in washing and drying, we had some significant shrinkage in the denim shirt. I'm going with option two. All right? So we'll clear that up right now. Member benefits. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but every time I get in front of you, I want to just continue to push it out. scfirefighters.org. scfirefighters.org. It does no good if we leave this room today and we do not communicate that to our members. We work very hard as your committee here at Member Benefits, some of which are here today. We'll continue to work hard. We got a meeting coming up Friday, listening to some speakers, working on some more discount opportunities, things that's coming up. We put those things out there and we put them on our website, scfirefighters.org, members, benefits. It's amazing how that just worked out, right? Click on members, go to benefits, and you'll see a list of things that's there for all of our association members. You are the association. We are here for our association members to make sure we do that. Folks have asked about the prescription drug card. That drug card is used in addition to anything else that you have, all your insurance. Make sure you print that off on the website, take it. If the pharmacy accepts it, good. Pharmacy don't accept it, at least we tried. All right, you got that there. Please take advantage of that and use that. You'll also see a link on that webpage called FRAP, F-R-A-P, First Responders Assistance Program. Since the flood, I'll tell you personally, in our department we've had 2 individuals that's used that. And they've come to me and shared that with me as the chief. Let me tell you something, that is incredibly helpful. That is a 24/7 private, confidential, one-on-one between the firefighter and some help for behavioral health and issues that happens. It works. Please make sure you use that. Thank you, Provident, for making that available. Very, very important that that is pushed out to the membership. You will see the whole membership, member benefits presentation there. All these insurance benefits that we get as being members of the Firefighter Association, they're on there. You'll hear Zarina talk about that and share that a little bit later. You can watch that presentation. It's on the website. Download it. Please make sure you look at it. This year, we were able to get financial help on there through Grow Financial, through CPM to get information that's on there. It could be retirement you're working on. Amen. I thought I wanted to retire when I grew up, but I'm changing my mind on that one. I don't know if that's a good idea either. I think retirees work harder than they do than ones working. So there's retirement information. You've got managing a budget and a checkbook. If you're going to buy groceries, there's information on there. Please take advantage of it. It's there for you. It's there for our members. Make sure you look at that. Houses and mortgage, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. Take advantage of those firefighter discounts that's on there. Please make sure you look at that and take advantage of that. We're meeting Friday to talk about some educational discounts for some colleges, universities that's going to be coming up. You'll see that soon, and we'll push that out through Firewire and through the website as it comes up, and also looking at some other opportunities for discounts. With that being said, Palmetto State Armory, reminder it's on there. Allen Arms up in Greenville is on there. Don't go to these places and not check the website. You can get a good savings, 5% if I'm not mistaken, off Palmetto Firearms. So, I mean, that's a big, big savings. Take advantage of that as our membership will continue to work for you. My information's on there. If you see a business, hotel, which we're still working on very hard, any place that helps firefighters, please let us know. Shoot me an email, let us know. We all travel around the state. Somebody helps us out, let's put it on the website and spread it. We'll need a letter from them. I don't mind doing the due diligence, contacting them. We'll put a letter on file and we'll put it out there so we can all take advantage of it. Thank you very much, Mr. President. That's my report.
Hey, we're a little ahead of schedule, so a little quick story. Any Swabbies in here? Anybody from the Navy? Nobody in here was in the Navy. We got a couple. All right, so y'all remember in boot camp, you throw your shirt over your head and it floats. So one of the main reasons, I don't know if y'all know this, my theme this year is building bridges. So after this year's over, we're going to take our shirts, they float, we're going to use them to build a bridge, okay? And our bylaws committee chair, Jamie Kajano.
Real quick, we were at an executive committee meeting a couple weeks ago, a month ago roughly, and it came to our attention, our bylaw states that we can have private fire departments, but it does not state anywhere in our bylaws how we accept private fire departments. So they all looked at me and said, what do we do? I said, well, I guess my work is about to go to work a little bit. So you will see this summer at Fire Rescue Conference a bylaws change. We do not have the exact wording down, but that wording is going to state we have 2 different types of members, of department members in our association. One being private and one being regular organized department. Really all this bylaw change is going to say is that any application is brought to the association from a regularly organized department, that will be voted on by the association at the annual conference. It will also state that any private fire department that presents an application, and this is like your corporations, whether it be Boeing, whether it be BMW, any big corporation that's got a private fire department on site, those will be brought to the executive committee for the executive committee to be voted on. It was kind of discussed, and the reason why we decided to go to the executive committee is That private fire department has nothing to do with 1%, so we really felt like it didn't affect the membership to bring them in or not bring them in because they're not eligible for 1% money. You will also see a small change when it starts talking about in subsection 3, section 3, subsection 3 on training and education fees, that we are giving the executive committee the authority, just like we do for regular organized fire departments, the authority to set dues if at any time in the future we want to set any kind of dues or training and education fees for private fire departments. Those really are just kind of cleaning that up, so we've got a way to go in the future. And so you'll see, we don't have the exact wording down yet, but you'll see those bylaws changes this summer at Fire Rescue Conference. That's all I have, Mr. President.
And Training and Education Chair, Mike Norton.
Good afternoon. Following the conference last year, Chief Palmer tasked our group with developing a career pathways for volunteer and career personnel throughout the state. We were lucky enough that we didn't have to start from scratch. Chief Atkinson and Chief Ryan already had a framework that they used in Dorchester, so we were able to take that and build upon it, and has really been a benefit to this task. What we're going to do is, as we move forward, we took what was already on paper, and we took the Fire Academy classes that were in the catalog, and with the assistance of Rick Dunn and his staff, Benita Waters, we took the classes that were in the course catalog, what was relevant, what was still active, and moved that over to the framework. So what we'll see going forward, and we've already had the first version of this came out in November. We sent it back for some cleaning up as far as the difference between a volunteer and a career, and I'll get back into that in just a minute before too much gets said on that side of it. But what we wanted to do was take a person coming into the fire service, get them started in the basic courses, and provide them with a flow chart from firefighter to driver operator to specialty classes from tech rescue to hazmat to officer development. Not saying that a firefighter coming in the door wants to be a company officer or a fire chief, but we're going to provide that framework for them to follow to get to that, to achieve that point. This is not mandated training. We're just providing a framework for them to follow, a pathway for them to follow. So what you will see when this comes out, and we have a meeting in February to do the final draft. Following the final draft approval, it will be published by the associations, hopefully the Fire Academy, and we'll make it available to anybody to utilize in their department. What you will see is when it comes out, you'll see for the volunteer side, you'll start out with the 1700 series, followed by Firefighter 1, Firefighter 2, Driver Operator, Aerial Operator, Pump Ops. Then we'll move into the Technical Rescue, Hazmat, and Company Officer. They'll be able to follow that pathway to achieve whatever they set their goals on. This is a tool for that department or that person to use to understand exactly what's available to them in the state of South Carolina. It by no means states that they have to do all these classes, but it does provide them that tool and that knowledge to get there. The difference between the volunteer side of it and the career side of it basically comes back to a time frame. Most career departments, it's a little bit more quick-paced, faster-paced, because they're using either a recruit program or in-house training, and they're going each week doing this. On a volunteer standpoint, it may be 1 day a week. It may be one night every 2 weeks. We have to take that into consideration. So when we developed the framework, that's what it came into. So we're completing the 1700 series, then 1152, Firefighter 1, Firefighter 2, and whatever means or point you want to get to after that. So hopefully by the end of February, we will have a finished product, and it will be approved by all the associations, and we can go forward to publishing that for your use. If you have any questions about that, I'll be here the rest of the weekend, and my number's in the book. Give me a call, and I'll explain the rest of it to you. Going forth to conference, Chief Palmer is going to go over the classes and the setup for the upcoming conference and moving forward. And Chief Kerber is also in the room, and he is going to touch on the Fire Academy changes and moving forward with that. Thank y'all.
Ask Serena to come back up and give us some information on the insurance services. And the banker formerly known as Travis. That's right.
I know, I get confused all the time. Thank you again for being here. I just wanted to take this time to personally thank Chief Ray in the back. He does a tremendous job, him and the whole benefits committee, for really working for this membership. And I know that I'm supposed to be sort of his right arm, and I have not helped hardly at all this year just because we've been so busy with the insurance company, which is a great thing, keeping us busy. But he has truly worked really, really hard. So if you have time to thank him and the committee, they have truly given their time this year for this membership and all the benefits that you do have. So a thank you is definitely well earned. So thank you, Chief Ray. I wanted to take this time, since I have a lot of you here, just to remind you, since the memorial is tomorrow, that we have had this year the most questions ever of how do members become memorialized. Well, it is the department's responsibility to turn in, when you have a member pass away, a death certificate, an obituary, and the beneficiary form that you have on file at the fire department for that member. That is how we internally put them on the list to be memorialized. So a lot of departments are getting confused and thinking that somehow we may just know that they're passed away and we're going to go ahead and put them on the list. That's not how it works. So I wanted to let you know, please pass that along to your neighboring departments, that it is your responsibility to make sure that you get that information to us. Because once you get it to us, then we're going to make sure they're memorialized and put on that list. So if you could do that, that'll greatly help out and hopefully clear up anything. And of course, you can always have them call the office if you have any questions. Marcy or myself can help you do that as well. I do have Stuart, not Travis, here with me today, and I know we had our 30-second commercial earlier, but he does bring a definite added value to our membership through partnerships, and that's what we're all about, is partnerships. And I just wanted to let him speak a few more minutes about what he's going to bring, him and Travis and BB&T and our partnership coming this May to you and some of your departments that you can pass along.
Thank you. Just real quick, guys. 2015, we had some training for you all up in Greenville and in Bluffton. The Bluffton one wasn't well attended. It was just bad timing. This year, we're going to have the same training, but we're going to have it in Greenville, in Columbia, in Charleston, and in Bluffton. And it's primarily dealing with ACA. This year, the big deal was ACA reporting, Affordable Care Act. If you're a department right now with over 50 employees and you're not part of the county or the city, you might be trying to figure out some of that reporting right now. If you're having trouble, just give me a call. We have a dedicated unit that'll help us do that. But to be proactive for next year, we really want to offer this training for you all so you'll kind of understand what's coming down the pipe for you and you won't be surprised. We're working on some smaller group products for you all through the Blue Cross plan. It's just in the infancy stage right now, and that probably wouldn't hit until 2017. Trying to think what else. That's mainly what we're working on right now, but those are two important things that I hope you guys will take advantage of.
And the classes too, the classes that he's talking about is to all the membership. It doesn't matter if you have a product. This is to our membership.
Yeah, and it's not me. It's not me up there trying to sell you guys something. It's an attorney that works for us. Actually, it's two attorneys that work for us. They come down from our Greensboro office, and they know Affordable Care Act up one side, down the other. I could never know as much as those folks do. But they're the ones that do the training. They're the ones that help. You'll get a big packet of everything that's coming down the road. it's really, really beneficial for all of you guys. So I hope you'll just keep in the back of your mind. Thank you.
South Carolina Fast, they've got a lot of great things going on in this state, and Miss Patty Johns is here to tell us about it.
It's good to be here with you this afternoon. Been running through some things in my head to ask and say. Can I get a show of hands of everybody that's heard of SC Fast? Can I get hands again of anybody that's been helped or affected by SC Fast? And could I get my team members in the room to stand up, please? I am so proud of these guys. And I use guys, guys and gals, guys and girls, however you want to say it. So proud of the things we're doing, the things we're accomplishing in this state. The Firefighter Assistance and Support Team. Some people call us the Huggers. Some people call us the Blue Shirts. Some people call us other things, but I'm not going to share those with you. We are, sometimes we're known as the ones that show up after the bad, and my technical term, yucky calls. We all have them. We all go to them. Sometimes we're affected by them, sometimes maybe not so much. But sometimes we're the ones that come in and talk to you and kind of normalize what your body and mind are going through after these calls, maybe not sleeping, maybe not wanting to eat or eat everything in the house, you know, maybe being short-tempered or frustrated with people. I'm up here talking about things I've dealt with, so we just come in and let you know it's normal to have reactions after a call like that. We also come in on good times too. We come in and do training, behavioral health awareness. We have a program called Finding Balance, which is really great for recruits or families. In this last year, we've just started presenting a class called Loving and Living with a Firefighter. Generally, this is presented by a husband and wife team, or at least by one spouse and one firefighter. And it can be quite comical, especially if you've got a husband and wife team. The dynamics get kind of interesting at times. All of these programs are designed, all of them are set up so that we can come to your department on your training night or your training day and have about an hour and a half, sometimes a little more if we get really good conversations, sometimes a little bit less, but to fit your schedule, for us to come in and give the awareness so we can be better firefighters, first responders in general. In the last year, we've trained about 26 new peers. We just, Thursday and Friday, we had 11 in a class over at the Fire Academy. And to me, that's a great start on the Fire Service Improvement Conference because, number one, we got a little bit of a head start, but we're doing things and we're getting better at improving things for us. I just don't want to leave out anything for you. We have now 7 regional coordinators. I'm just going to run through them just in case you don't know who the regional coordinator in your area is. Gerald Michoud and David Reindaller. Gerald Michoud is a retired chief down in Charleston. David Reindaller is a captain with North Charleston there in the Low Country. Tim Walters and Matt Bernanke, both with Myrtle Beach Fire Department, are our Grand Strand coordinators. Lee Hopkins from Hartsville, and Andy Hogg, Chief Andy Hogg from Barnwell, Long Branch in Barnwell County, just came on with us recently as a coordinator. And then Brian Reedy, who you guys saw up here just a little bit ago, he's our upstate coordinator. If you're interested in working with us or having us come visit you, your department, or you just might need to get a phone number for a peer to have a conversation with, or we'll have these numbers where you can get a hold of them, and of course, you can always call me and I'll find the answer if I don't have it. I look forward to working with y'all as the year goes on. Thank you.
All right, knock, knock. Wake up. It's almost over. Hang in there, okay? All right. I would like to recognize Josh from American Red Cross. He familiar face, but I looked at Joe and he sort of looked at me and I thought I'd got out of line.
You did, but keep going. You're
I'm
doing
sorry,
good.
I'm sorry, Joe.
Come on now, Josh. I'll get to old business in a minute.
All right, good afternoon. I got some great news for you guys. I want to take a quick survey, just like Patty just did. Raise your hand if your department has ever struggled to get smoke alarms and educational material because of cost. A lot of hands, okay? The Red Cross is rolling out a home fire campaign. Many of you I've worked with, I recognize a number of you in your departments. We are rolling out a brand new program to get even more materials out, specifically smoke alarms and educational material. This new program is meant to get alarms directly into your department's hands every single month, okay? And the way we're going to do this is generally how it's going to go. You guys are going to fill out this application right here on that link. I will contact you or somebody at your department, and we will set up a quick orientation process, just a quick class, make sure everybody knows the basics of smoke alarm installation, because everybody knows that stuff, right? Right? So, after that orientation process, we'll come up with a quick little plan, make some signatures, and at the beginning of every single month from there on until we run out of our 50,000 smoke alarms, you guys are entitled to that number of smoke alarms and educational materials. So this is a brand new day in the fire service when it comes to smoke alarms in South Carolina, and we're going to do everything we can at the Red Cross to support your efforts. So I really beg you guys, and I hope that you will go to this link right here, fill out this interest form. Nothing here is binding. It does not mean that you are going to get something for sure, but my intention is not to disapprove of any fire department that wants some of these materials. Inside of that form, too, you're going to find my contact information. So if you need to call me, you're going to have to open up the form. All right? Thank you, guys.
I do apologize. I got a little out of order there. But, is there any old business that we need to discuss today? Any old business? No? All right, so that'll take us into new business. And under new business, Joe Palmer's going to give us an update on the upcoming conference.
You probably have heard some rumors about changes with fire rescue, have you not? Yeah, that's a few floating around. Let's talk about two things. First off, I want to talk a little bit about 2016. 2016 will be held in Myrtle Beach. There is a revised schedule with that. We're trying to put all of our business events on Thursday in the big room, all on one day, such that it will allow us to have all day Friday and all day Saturday exhibit hall open, people that may be just coming in for the day, and also will allow there to be less competition for those exhibitors that will be showing as far as pulling them out of that with another event. Obviously, as Zarina mentioned, our memorial service has moved to tomorrow. We intend on trying to do that every January here in Columbia. So that's not a conflict on Saturday. On Friday night of 2016, I believe it's the 10th, we'll do a joint banquet in the ballroom with the chiefs, in which awards will be given and the transfer of command, a little more formal opportunity in a banquet setting. Classes have been posted to the website, scfirerescue.org. Go there and take a look at it. We got some great classes this year. The Training and Education Committee did an outstanding job of picking those instructors. I'm really pleased with those wide-ranging, broad-based, hands-on classes. They're posted there as well. One of the things I will mention about the hands-on classes that we've had problems with in the past, that we're working on some opportunities to try to curb a little bit. A lot of folks will register for a hands-on class that may be limited to the first 30 people, and then for whatever reason decide that they'd like to hang out on the beach or something instead of going to class. And what you've done is you've cut somebody else out that wanted to come to the program. So we're working on some changes with that hands-on registration. Just be aware of that fact. A little more accountability. So if you sign up for a hands-on class, it's imperative for us because of a financial impact and a student contact impact that you're there. Those hands-on classes are just incredible and outstanding. We will be issuing awards down there. Those awards will be done some on Thursday, some on Friday at the banquet. We'll do our 5K again that Saturday morning. We've had great luck with that the past several years. And just to counteract that 5K later in that day, Krispy Kreme's going to have a donut bus there at the headquarters. I'm looking forward to both of them. That's okay. 2016 conference and 2017 conference will be in Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach has been an incredible opportunity for us over the past 20-plus years. We've grown with that facility. We've grown to the maximum capacity of that facility. But our crowd size is such that it's very competitive for that Myrtle Beach market. And we, the executive committee members and staff, went through a little over a year process of evaluating the location and housing Fire Rescue Conference, beginning with what were the mission statement, what is the purpose of Fire Rescue, and what do we want out of that program. And it has to come back to training. It has to come back to training. It has to come back to the opportunity that you get to spend time with the best instructors in this country and to get the best information from exhibitors. And when evaluating those things, we felt like that it was important to move that conference to Columbia in 2018. June the 10th through the 16th, 2018, we'll be moving to downtown Columbia. We're going to be doing the exhibition in the Colonial Life Arena and also in the Columbia Convention Center, as well as the classes in the Convention Center and a few other venues. One of the things that moving to Columbia is going to do for us, in addition to giving us more space in some really outstanding world-class facilities, is it's going to enhance our ability to be able to partner with the Academy and with the towns and cities in that area to provide a lot more training. The hands-on opportunity alone with the Academy, some of the acquired structure capabilities that we've been talking about with the City of Columbia and City of West Columbia. Columbia is already talking about updating their training grounds. So we're really excited about this. And what it's going to do for our members by centralizing it in the state and by enhancing that training opportunity gives everybody equal chance, day trips, less expensive overnight stays, and I think we're going to get more people. Typically, we get about 2,000 people a day to come into the exhibit hall in Myrtle Beach. We've been running total counts between 5,000 and 6,000. I think we could double that in Columbia. That's an aggressive goal. I've stated that a number of times, and I believe that. And what does that? Large venues, the central location, the ability with the partners to give that additional training. And our staff's really pumped up about it. And it's been well received around this state. It is a change. Change is scary. Change is uncertain. You don't know what's going to happen with it. But we've been incredibly well received by the City of Columbia. I will go so far as to say red carpet rolled out. I think they're really excited about the possibility of the venues that we can establish all around town, not only for our members, but for spouses and guests too, because it's quickly said, when we go to the beach, we bring family. While we're in class, family does things. Columbia's got a lot of family opportunities around it too. We've already begun meeting with some of those groups to be able to highlight those for family members that may be coming. I'm really stoked and positive about meeting the mission and being able to meet the mission in this venue to give more stuff to our members. I think that's pretty positive. It is a change. I ask you to be positive about it with us. And I ask that if you've got questions or comments, I'm here for the rest of the weekend. I'd love to talk with you about the details of it. SC Fire Rescue 2018 Columbia. We look forward to seeing you there. Our next presenter is some information about our South Carolina Firefighters Foundation, Jamie Kajama.
before I give you an update on the foundation, I've got some fire chiefs and some people from Greenville County. If y'all would please stand for just a second. I know Tony Seegers is back there. I know you're not the only one from Greenville. They step out. Where they? There's Ken. After y'all know the big flood we had in this state, we, myself, Jason, Joe, Tommy, a lot of us got to talking about how can the foundation help. Well, as y'all know, the foundation's been struggling for the last couple of years with some changes, and we're trying to turn that foundation around. Well, these gentlemen in that county made a phone call one day, I believe to Jason, and said, we want to help, we want to raise some money. And so we said, okay, what can we do to help? Well, about a month later, they came down to the association, and $20,811 later, we could help. And that was thanks to Greenville County Fire Chiefs deciding they wanted to go out one day and do a boot drive. We're talking 8 hours of these guys' time, their firemen's time. We really thank them for that, because that allowed your foundation to present about $17,500 worth of money currently already has been given out to 23 firemen that were affected by floods. We looked at how these guys were affected. Some of these guys lost everything from the house. They're still not back in their houses. Some of these guys lost clothing. Some of these guys lost cars. And so 23 of these guys received that money, anywhere from $1,500 down to about $250. Without Greenville County, I don't think we would have been anywhere close to that. We raised a couple thousand, about $3,000 online. I know a lot of people went out and helped with that and donating online. But we wanted to kind of give Greenville County a thank you for that, but kind of wanted to give you where we are going forward. Your foundation is really being aggressive. The executive committee is going to hear from us pretty soon about how we're going to be very aggressive to try to raise funds for you to benefit you over the years. We don't want to be sitting here next time when the flood comes or when the hurricane comes or whatever and go, how can we help? We don't have the funds to help. We want to have the money in the bank, so 2 days later after the event, or 1 day later, we can be down writing checks to help you, whether it be scholarships, whether it be benevolence, whether it be the guy in your fire department that loses his house to a house fire that we can help you with. That is our goal. We've got some pretty big goals, but we've got some pretty good people in this state that are on this committee. Chief Milano, I see, Chief Minnick, who else I got in here? Jeff Allen, I'm sorry, is here. Chief Gibson is not here. I'm sure he's up in Pickens playing in the snow. And then we've got one opening, and really, it got some guys that really want to push this thing forward. So I think you're going to see some big things from us in the future. We've actually got a meeting this afternoon with something that's going to be very interesting. I hope it turns out to fruition and helps us pay off in the long run. Thank you for your support over the years with our golf tournament, with our 5K run. There's a lot of things that the foundation supports to try to raise money. As I call it, small money, but any money helps. We're looking at bigger dollars in the future, so hopefully we can be there to help you. If there's anything that the foundation can ever help you to do, please let us know. We might not have the money in the bank to help today, but call us. We'll see what we can do to help you. Thank you.
I've got two gentlemen here that want to talk to you for just a minute about their candidacy for 4th Vice President this coming year. And I'm going to recognize Keith Minnick from Newberry Fire Department first.
Thank you, Tommy. On behalf of myself, I'd like to offer myself as 4th Vice President candidate for this year. Back in June at the beach, I announced my candidacy to run. I've started campaigning, hitting the trail, coming out, seeing some fire departments. I'd love to come out and see you at your fire department, at the association meeting, the chiefs meeting. See me today. I'd love to get some cards out, make some contacts. Served on several committees, the Foundation Strategic Planning Committee, through the association, leadership graduate, Leadership Institute graduate. So put forth some time in the association, your association, and I'm ready to move forward and be even more involved with the association in enhancing our fire service across this state. It's been a part of my life. The fire service is something I'm passionate about. Look forward to the changes that we have, the strategic plan that's in place that we can move forward And with your support today, I ask for your fourth vice president vote in June. Remember, you can vote online. You don't have to be present at the beach. With that, I know Tommy told us to keep it short and sweet, but please see me out in the hallway. I'd love to talk to you more about the candidacy and look forward to your support. Thank you.
We would like to recognize Ken Taylor from South Greenville Fire Department.
I'm Ken Taylor from South Greenville Fire Department, and last year I also offered up to run for fourth vice president of Firefighter Association, and the last couple of months I've had the opportunity to go to the executive committee meeting, and those guys that's sitting in that room at the executive committee meeting has got this association in their heart. I mean, they're looking out for everybody, and that's something that myself, Keith, and I know any of y'all want to be a part of it, and I want to be a part of that just to continue that service, because those guys, if you could go in there and sit down and see what they're doing and what they're talking about, it's awesome. It's awesome to envision what they've got for the fire service for the coming years, and I want to be a part of it. So myself, I've already made some contacts, and we'll be getting out to the association meetings, to the department meetings. I love to do that, love to meet people, love to talk to people. If you have any questions, give me a call, hit me up outside, and I'll see you in June. Thank you.
And then our next guest, I got wind that he's wanting to run again. He misses it so much. Oh, is that just a rumor? Yeah. But I would like to recognize Ken Kerber from the South Carolina Fire Academy.
No way in here. Good afternoon. When I walked in and saw the denim shirts, I thought this might be a throwback theme to Dukes of Hazzard. Knowing Tommy, I do understand at the conference this year that they're going to have cow chip tossing and tractor pulling and the screen out in the where we all sit at lunchtime is going to have Mayberry RFD reruns,
yes,
instead of speakers. So I'm excited about that. The news board's not much room to put stuff, so please bear with me. A lot going on at the Fire Academy. It's a very busy time. We're excited about it. Chief Polk couldn't make it today, so on his behalf, he sends his greetings certainly, as does Rochelle Taylor, our agency director. A lot going on with LLR, a lot going on at the Fire Academy, a lot going on at the Fire Marshal's office. Just to give you some updates real quick, and I'm going to talk very quickly, or I'm going to try, because I do have a lot to cover, and I don't want to belabor this too long because I know it's getting to that point. Right now we have 28 recruits in a class. We started with 28 recruits. This is the first time since I've been superintendent that going into our third week, we've maintained all our recruits. I challenged them all to be the first class that has completed without anybody dropping out. So I'm very excited. If you have a recruit in that class from your department, please call him or her. Got a bunch of females in this class, and encourage them. We talked about teamwork, and we talked about a lot of things, so I'd be very, very excited to shake 28 hands as they go across the stage in a couple of weeks. So please encourage them. I think they would appreciate it very much. Two big priorities right now at the Fire Academy. Probably the biggest priority is our sewer line. Now, I don't know if that's a priority 1 or a priority 2. Yes, I can on video, so I'm not going to say too much about that. But actually, our direction from LLR is to get something moving in the sewer line. We own, for those of you who don't know, we actually own the sewer line from the Fire Academy all the way down to I-20. It's over 22,000 feet of sewer line that we own. Anybody that knows anything about municipal systems, be it water lines, sewer lines, very expensive. 5 miles worth of sewer line to dig up and replace, would probably be in $1.5 million range. We're going to start doing some studies. We're trying to get prices together to see what our liability is. Spending $1.5 million to replace or repair sewer lines is not the best use of the money for the fire academy in my mind. I think we all could agree that, you know, if we can use that money for training or building new buildings or whatever it may be, is far better than dealing with the sewer line. But we know that liability is out there, so we have to address it and deal with it. And honestly, that is our #1 priority. Number 2 priority this year is fire trucks. I know Virgil was here. I don't know if he's still here, but the vendors are going to start driving us crazy because we are going to buy some new fire trucks at the fire academy. Most of the trucks that we have up there, the firefighting equipment that we have up there, is anywhere from 10 to 35 years old. It really bothers me when I came there to see, and I was ignorant of the fact. But we're teaching these young recruits or other folks that come to the fire academy from all over the world on equipment that is that old, and they go back to the firehouse and they're running on new equipment, everything from electronic buttons to, you know, everything else. Some of us older folks with some gray hair in our head remember how we had to pull the valves and open this and turn the throttles and do all that. Now these kids push a button. It's like, and I made the analogy, I think, at the instructors meeting yesterday, but it's like going back to 1st, 2nd grade when you had to learn why 3 + 3 = 6. At our age, we just know 3 + 3 = 6. So I don't have a problem. I'll get to the analogy. I understand that I think it's very important that firefighters understand how a stage 1 pump works. I get that. But nowadays, you know, as a young recruit, your first day in the firehouse, and chief tells you to, you know, go pull a line and flow water, and you walk up to the truck and push a button, pull a hose, that's all they got to do now. So why aren't we teaching them on that kind of stuff? So I think it's inherently important that we bring stuff up to date. We're looking at an engine, we're looking at a new ladder, and probably the 3rd vehicle is a tank or a tender. We don't have one there now, a tanker per se, and you know, we have so much stuff that's, so many departments and so much property that's in the rural areas that run tanker shuttles and water shuttles that I think it's a skill we need to get better at, in my opinion. But one of the other things that's not on my agenda, but I'm going to speak on briefly, we met with the Aeronautics Commission, our ARF curriculum, probably is the best way to put it. We deal a tremendous amount of ARF classes. FAA requires a tremendous amount from ARF firefighters. One of the things we're talking about is upgrading our ARF props. Anybody that's, again, been around for a while remembers when we actually got the fuselages that are out there right now. They've been reworked a couple times, but they really need some major work to get them back into ship shape. We're looking at another ARF truck. ARF is very funny because it is very specific, brand specific. If your airport only has Oshkosh fire trucks, you don't want to come to our academy because all we have are Rosenbauer and, you know, E1 or whatever it may be. So it's something we need to pay attention to and look to that. And I think the Aeronautics Commission has a lot of money. The FAA has a lot of money that we can get for grants to help with that program. So those are probably our 3 biggest things of major capital items. Our advisory committee with Chief Norkett as chairman is well aware of this, and we talk about it on a regular basis, and we have their support. I just hired a brand new facilities manager. For anybody, again, that's been around for a while, Billy Roberts was our facilities manager at the academy for a long, long time. Billy retired at the end of last year. It took us a while to get a new individual. That person is now on staff. His name's Ray Rickelhoff. Ray has immediately gone to work. We now have a 15-year plan on replacing our heating and air conditioning units. Across, I think we have 33 units on site. HVAC systems, not including the dorms. Some of those units are 20+ years old. There's never been a replacement plan. We now have it mapped out and good to go. Anybody this summer, I know we had to move a lot of classes around because certain classrooms were out of order. You know, it's too hot or now too cold. But anyway, we're working on that. He created a punch list. Typical, if you move into a new building or a new commercial structure, there's a punch list. We have 133 items on our punch list. They went around and evaluated every building, It's about $137,000. This is low-hanging fruit. This is stuff we can fix over the next 6 to 12 months. Everything from fixing doors to lights to painting to whatever it may be, stuff that has not been maintained. I've told this group before, and I've told other groups in the past, the Fire Academy is a 20-year-old house that's never had a coat of paint on it. We're putting coats of paint on it. We're caulking the windows. We're greasing the doors. I mean, we're doing all that. So it may not be very significant changes when you walk in, but it's happening. And it's about time it happened. I can't stand up here without giving y'all some numbers. I know this is the highlight of your highlight of my report. Numbers, I know Tom is excited about this, but just to give you a perspective of kind of what we deal with, our allocated money per year is $7,319,000 and some change. That's appropriated through the General Assembly. That's how much the Fire Academy's budget is, basically. Our budget is actually a little bit higher than that. Last year, we spent $7,467,000. Year to date, the good news is year to date, as of through December's numbers, and our fiscal year is July through June. So we have July, August, September, October, November, and December. I have 6 months, half a year's worth of data, which should say that our target is 50%. We should not have spent more than 50% of our budget. Well, the good news is, versus our budget, we're at 44%. So we're under budget year to date. When you talk about $7 million, that's a lot of money. That's 6% or so of $7 million. Think about it, do the math. I'm not going to do it for you. But it allows us things to look at doing $137,000 worth of repairs, where otherwise we can't do that. So that's really good news. Our cafeteria, our dorm, we're upgrading things in those just about every day. One of the biggest complaints that we get is typically the food's terrible and the dorm beds are hard. You know, and we hear you. We're actually putting egg crates, not, Tommy, the crates that you collect your chickens and eggs with, but the foam stuff that sits on the beds and makes the beds a little bit more comfortable. For years, years ago, we always had inmates cooking our food. And again, anybody with gray hair, remember that I'm always pointing at you. I could point at Alvin too, but I don't know where he went. It's funny when we started catering the meals that we got more complaints about bring the inmates back. But when the inmates were there, we got all the complaints that I'm not eating there, the inmates cook the food. So to be perfectly honest with you, we put out some bids to look at another catering opportunity, and nobody bid on it. And I know why nobody bid on it is because it's too hard to tell how many meals you have to prepare every day. With the classes that we put on and the visitors that we have, we could have anywhere from 20 to 200 people coming down there to eat. And there's nothing worse than going down there and not have enough food or have way too much food. So it's very hard to throw a dart at that target and hit your target number that you want. So in the past 6 months or so, we've been cooking in-house with the inmates. We actually hired a guy to do that. Most of you know him, Curtis, big tall guy. Don't play him in tennis. He's very good at it, I'm told, like I'm a tennis player. I'm built for tennis. But he's cooking the meals, and we are probably saving about 30% on that, which is when you talk about food, somebody's going to complain and say, well, yeah, I can see why you're saving 30%. You know, look at what we're eating. But it's actually, we've actually gotten a lot of compliments lately about the quality and the quantity of the food. So, you know, somebody's still going to complain, that's fine, call me, we can talk about it. We're doing the best we can with that, so please bear with us as we go through that, but I'm actually pretty pleased about it. Signage. Anybody that's been on our campus lately has seen our front sign as you drive up. I think it's a lot more visible. The blue sign, y'all know what I'm talking about. As you enter, we are going through a rebranding. I've talked about that before. That sign that's up front, that sign is going to be similar throughout the academy. All the pillar signs that we have out there now, when you turn in and you're facing the classroom, there's another little pillar sign there that has an arrow, State Fire Marshal's office, you know, cafeteria and all that. All of those signs across the campus are going to look like the front sign. With our new logo, better directions, a lot more visible. our trucks, our delivery trucks, our fire marshal trucks, our regional training vehicles are all going to be marked with our new logo and State Fire. Our trailers are going to be marked that way. It's a point of advertising. If we're going down the interstate and we're going from Columbia up to Greenville or down to Beaufort or wherever, I think it's going to look sharp, a nice 350, white 350 with our markings with a trailer right behind it. We've all seen, you know, everything from race cars, you know, the big haulers and stuff like that. It's a brand. It's a visual brand. It's something that we want to put out there that looks professional. I'll be honest with you, and I think you'll agree with me. You know, right now we might have a red truck, a white truck, a brown truck pulling some old rusty-looking red trailer where the paint's falling off and everything else. That, you know, this is a $7 million business. We need to look like it. We need to act like it. So that's coming along also. Curriculum, one of the biggest things that we deal with at the Fire Academy, obviously, Rick and his team and Lenny and his folks in the back and Philip and the regional folks, we have a lot going on with curriculum. I'm not going to belabor a whole lot up here about the curriculum other than to tell you that there's a lot of stuff coming that's going to be digital for our instructors. There's digital download information that's going to go out there. There's a lot of stuff on the portal. One of the Fire Officer 1 and 2, 3310, which is technical rescue, we're working on all those updates and going to get them out shortly. The Fire Officer 1 and 2 should be out by March.
One is out.
Okay. And these are not new courses, but they're revised courses. They're brought up to date. We are working on Fire Officer 3 and 4. That's coming down the road, and there's a lot of other classes coming. What I think, or one of the things I'm very excited about is, let me get it out of here in a second. For the past number of years, we have not had a catalog. We have a brand new catalog that's coming out. Jenna Pritchett and our marketing department, which is Jenna Pritchett, our curriculum folks and everybody else has put together a brand new catalog. We are going to mail this out to every fire department. Not to every firefighter, folks, to every fire department, and it'll also be online. But it's going to have brand new course descriptions. It's going to have all that information that you need. It's also going to have some new policies in it, Jeff Allen. One of the policies is going to be firearms on the Fire Academy. And we are going to follow the the Police Academy's exact policy that they have for firearms on our campus. And that is you put your firearm in your vehicle. We're not allowing you to wear firearms at the Fire Academy. It needs to be put in your vehicle. That's just one of many policies, and you can yell all you want, but that's the way it's going to be. There are some other policies. We're working on fee structures. We're working on a number of other things. Again, you'll see all that coming out. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about 9 fire deaths so far this year. I spoke just briefly at in one of the breakouts I was in. I think it was 3 days ago. We had 4 different fire fatalities within 24 hours. I was on call the week before, and I had 4 over that week's time. We just had another one, so we're up to 9 already. If you extrapolate that through the year, you're looking right now at 108 fatalities for the year. If you figure 9 a month, that is extremely unacceptable. Now I know it's a cold snap. You know it's a cold snap, but folks, we're where the rubber hits the road. If we're not serious about fire prevention and dealing with Josh Stout and smoke detectors and public education, we're missing the boat. We will never be out of business. You know, sprinkler systems. If every home had a sprinkler system, that's not going to prevent fires in that home. It will mitigate some of the damage, but it's not going to prevent it. You know, don't come and tell me that we're going to be out of business because of sprinklers. You know, that we're not out of business of car wrecks because everybody's supposed to wear a seatbelt. So don't even give me that argument. I don't want to hear it. It's our responsibility as firefighters to preach, and I mean preach, about safety. Smoke detectors, EDIF, exit drills, all that stuff that we need to do that needs to be a major part of our curriculum in our firehouses. 9 deaths so far this year are unacceptable. You know, 1 death this year is unacceptable. We need to do a better job of it. So please, please, please get out there and talk about fire prevention with your folks. A couple of quick announcements. Southeastern Fire School is going to be Saturday, Sunday, March 19th and 20th. We will have a catalog out very soon. We are not mailing the Southeastern catalog to everybody. It will be available when you get there. But of course, everything will be online for that. We're actually starting to do some monthly video online newsletter. One should be coming out. When is that actually going to be released, you think? Ma'am? End of the month? Okay, end of the month, there will be a video news letter. It's actually me. I know, I'm sorry. But it's very brief. It's the... What? Yeah, I can't be brief about anything. The vision is to basically do the, for you really old guys like Carter, who's not here, but FTR started his fireside chats. We want to start giving information out to the fire service, and we're going to recognize firefighters, fire departments, burning issues, and it'll be, you know, a 2 minutes to 5 minute little video clip, you know, whether I'm sitting in a chair next to Joe Palmer talking about what's going on with the association, but just communication, better communication, and try to get stuff out more and more often. There are some funny outtakes already on there, so we'll have some fun with that. Last thing I want to mention, and this is me being a York County boy. York County has just finished completion of their fire training center. It's about a $6 or $7 or $8 million project. I know on February 6th, which I heard that date earlier, somebody's doing something, maybe a blitz, or I can't remember, but if you're not involved in the blitz, come up to York County. They're going to dedicate that building. We had our assistant county manager was murdered less than a year ago, or about a year ago. They're dedicating that to her. She was very involved in that construction of that facility. It's a very nice, state-of-the-art, a very large fire training facility, certainly in York County, but we've always opened it up to neighboring counties or anybody that wants to use it. But if you're available at 10 a.m. on Saturday, February 6th, please make an effort to come up to York County. I didn't cover everything I wanted, but I'll stop now and ask if there are any questions concerning the Fire Academy or the State Fire Marshal's Office. It really is that late, isn't it? Okay, thank you for that. All right, thank you.
Thank you for that short presentation, Ken. I mean, Ken, I would like to say thank you to you and your staff for all the technical assistance and audiovisual assistance for this weekend. Thank you very much. Thank you. State Fire Chiefs, Alvin Payne and Alan Sims.
I'm not going to be brief, Ken, thank you. We're going to keep it short, that's what Alan's here for. With that being said, 3 dates. March 16th, Kyle said it earlier, Legislative Day. April 6th, Memorial Service at the Fire Academy. We have 3 line of duty deaths this year. So please try to be there. And then June the 6th through the 8th, which is our conference. Real quick on our conference, as they stated earlier, we've got some great speakers. You know we feed you well. I mean, you don't see very many skinny fire chiefs around here. Dennis Ray. So we are going to have fun. As Joe said earlier, we enjoy our partnership with the Firefighter Association. I think we've done a great job working together. And this year with our joint transfer of command, we're looking forward to it. And with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Alan. He's got a couple other things, and we're going to get this thing rolling.
At the first part, I thought I was going first. Mine said, please hold off short jokes to the end. But I'm doing some promotions for the Southeastern Fire School. Who in this room is familiar with Jason Holman? Who knows? Raise your hand. Well, everybody that knows him knows what he brings. Southeastern Fire School is March the 19th through the 20th. Our training board has been working with Philip Russell to try to get some company officer programs into the Southeastern Fire School. So he's going to be coming this year. Be bringing, he's a co-owner again of Engine House LLC. He'll be bringing the new fire officer. It's more than just a badge. So looking forward to that. We're going to partner with them. The Hampton Inn we're going to have as a hotel for there, if everybody wants to network. So that'll be coming out, and some bio and some information about that training will be coming out. The only other thing that I have is about membership. Anybody that's a captain and above can join our association. We've got a lot of things going on. We need a lot of help to do a lot of activities we have planned. We've got some disability benefits available now. And again, like President Payne said, we appreciate the joint effort, and we appreciate everybody's been here for this joint conference again as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'd like to recognize the South Carolina Society of Fire Instructors, Kenny Thompson. Thank you, Kenny.
How many fire instructors we have in here? Put your hands up. How many supervised fire instructors? Keep your hands up. Don't put them back down. You got to be good at following instructions. How many took a class under an instructor this past year? Everybody, still keep your hands up. How many think they have the best fire instructors in the state in their department? Keep your hands up. Now, how many nominated one of your instructors for an award last year? There's the problem. You think they're the greatest, but you don't want anybody else to know. You're afraid somebody's going to steal them? We still give away awards. We had 8 nominations statewide last year for 3 awards. We did make a change at Fire Rescue 2015 at our meeting. We decided to do away with the 2 Instructor of the Year awards. We're going to do 1. We're not going to differentiate between whether someone's paid or they do it for no pay. So this year we're doing 1 Instructor of the Year award, and we're still giving away the Frank Ballantyne Instructor Excellence Award. Those are the only 2 we're going for this year. Those will be given out at Fire Rescue 2016 at Beach. I would really love to have to spend days going through nominations trying to determine who gets these awards instead of about 30 minutes. If you aren't going to recognize your people, who will? If we don't recognize our own, who will? I'd like to have these nominations in by March 31st so that the executive committee can go through these at our meeting in April and prepare for Fire Rescue to get these awards out. I will get with Joe and we'll make sure and get that information on the Firemen's Association's webpage. We still currently have our old South Carolina Society of Fire Service Instructors webpage that has the awards and the nomination form on it. You can still use it. The address is still correct on there for Darrell Hood in Gaffney. So there's still an email address there, there's still a mailing address. Would really love to get some more nominations in and be specific, not just he's a really good instructor. Be specific so that we have something to go by to judge compared to other people. One other thing we're working on, we've been working on this for about the past 6 months. How many remember when we used to give teaching awards? Come on, I'm curious to say, I know some of you do, that after so many hours, you got the recognition from the state for teaching. It used to be on 500-hour increments. You got a plaque. We are looking to reinstitute some type of recognition for teaching hours. Now, this would be just for certificate courses. It would have to be hours that are registered through the Fire Academy so that we can get an accurate record to maintain those hours. We're looking at bringing some type of recognition back for that. We're still working on it. We might get it instituted back this year. If we do, again, we'll get something up on the Firemen's Association webpage just to keep everybody informed. So we are here. We are still giving out awards, but you've got to help us. How many want to do away with all your instructors and worry about somebody else teaching your people? Oh, I didn't see any hands go up that time. Let's work with our instructors, recognize our instructors. What would we be doing without our instructors?
Who would be doing the teaching? So let's get those nominations in, okay? That's all I got. I'm gonna be brief. Kim's sat in on the instructor meeting the other day. He kind of ran us a little long, 2 hours, went for 2 hours. I don't remember, how long did you talk, Kim?
10 minutes.
Oh, it was 10 minutes? But that's all I've got. Any questions for the instructor side?
Hey, before I call up our next guest, I would like to say, staff, real quick, staff members for the association, stand up real quick. Hey, they do a lot of work prior to our conferences. Joe, and the rest of our staff, great job, thanks a lot, really appreciate it. Miss Diane Woods, if I could get you to come up, our South Carolina Fire and Life Safety educators. You're welcome.
It's got to come on down. There we go. Geez, this is one time I can actually see everybody over a podium. This is pretty good. Well, greetings from the South Carolina Fire and Life Safety Education Association. I serve as the chairwoman of the board for our association, and we've got a lot of things going. Fire and Life Safety Education is #1. We can't do without it. Now, I'd like to see how many in the audience here today are members. Would you stand up, please, in my group? I'm proud of them all. Thank you. Last year, 68 people perished in the state of South Carolina. And we just heard today, 9 already. 1 life is 1 too many. And we've got to cut that down. And where does it start? Before we do fire suppression, it's fire education. And we've got to instill that in each one of our departments. And it's #1, not #2. Every firefighter has got to be able to do community work and talking about fire prevention. EDIT's drills in the home, okay? Working with the children. Now, here's a new twist to it that I'm really hot on. Kids are afraid that fire kills. I say to a child, have you ever been outside making those s'mores on those fire pits? Well, when you do that, all of a sudden the wind changes, and what do you get? It's smoke, right? Well, smoke is the #1. #2 is the fire second. So if we could get people to get out, when that smoke alarm goes off, get out, go to your meeting place, and stay out. And the meeting place should not be at the mailboxes, those where those big red trucks are going, but instead the neighbor's yard. We can save a whole lot more lives. If you can just convey that one simple message, that in itself would save a lot of lives. Now, year after year, we've had a large conference. Last year was a big anniversary celebration for us, and we did it for a week. Well, this year we decided that we're going to do it a couple of days, a little less formal, and what we're going to do is 2 days of jam-packed, CE-credited fire prevention education. Making it simple, bringing it down to that one firefighter that has a tough time being able to talk about fire prevention. We've got lots of materials to show you how to go online and get lots of free stuff. Some of you have been in our conferences before, have learned how you can do that. We like to share. If you're going to do some kind of festival or something, you need help, guess what? We'll be there. Okay, we'll come help you. You need Sparky suits, you need all that kind of thing. It's not in your budget, but you want to do it, you want to do something different. Join our association. It's very expensive, it's $20 a year. The second thing we're going to be doing is a very large pick-off to fire prevention. Some new things that we can do for fire prevention in 2016. It's going to be in late August. Love you to join us. If you're not getting our mailings, please, before we leave here, give me your business card or give me your email address. Let me get you on our list so that you can get all of our mailings and join us for our educational opportunities. Also, our association is the educational component for the South Carolina Sprinkler Coalition. As you know, some of you have been wonderful and have done side-by-side burns. For those of you who have, please stand up. Whereas Ken Kerber was the first one we ever did, and Ken started it off, and he didn't think about it on the bypass either. but, but I want to thank all of you because the numbers of people that we have had attend and learn about the power of a residential sprinkler system and the fact that you've got less than 2 minutes to get out when you've got a fire in a home, but yet in less than 15 seconds that sprinkler head will go off is real important. The other thing we've done is partner together with the Jeffrey Lee Williams Foundation. Jeffrey Lee Williams was a young boy that was killed in Boone from carbon monoxide in a hotel, as you all recall. His mom is located in Rock Hill, and what we've been doing is helping spread the word about carbon monoxide detectors. So we're helping spread that word, and all of our blitzes for smoke alarms are being installed. We're also checking to make sure people have CO detectors. I have a question. How many of you are staying in this hotel? That's good. How many of you have a sprinkler head in your room? We all do, don't we? How many of you know that there's a smoke alarm in your room? We all know that. Last question. How many of you brought with you a CO detector to plug in that room? Whoa. How many of you take one with you anywhere you go? Well, guess what? That's something you better think about, and that's something else. Your fire department could start spreading the word. Anywhere you go, bring a CO detector, plug it in. Because you know what? They don't have them in rooms. So that's the next thing we have to work on. It's very, very important. This year, we had at our conference a silent auction. And from that silent auction, we raised some funds. Part of those funds went to a woman who is very passionate about fire service, is always there to help us, and that was Priscilla Lee Bridges from Bridges of Augusta. The next one we'd like to do is, it's always nice to end something like this and being, you know, saving the best till last, so thank you for that. And we'd like to make another presentation today. It's not a big check, but every year we'd like to make it bigger and bigger because it affects all of us. We'd like to give a check from the South Carolina Fire and Life Safety Education Association to the South Carolina Fallen Firefighters Foundation, $250 from SD Falls. I'm passionate about fire education. If you need someone, you ever need help, call me. Please give me your cards. I'd like to add you to my list. And please, practice fire safe. Thank you.
All right, you're just about through here. Listen up. Got a big announcement. At 3 o'clock sharp in this room, we're going to do something that we haven't done in the fire service in a long time. Okay? Something that I haven't been involved with in years. But had you been involved with one in the past, it's cool. We're going to have actually a trial. We've got a circuit court judge, we've got a couple of attorneys, we've got some witnesses, and we're going to be holding court in here. We've got an arson case we're going to try, and you're going to experience firsthand what it's like. And I'm pumped up about it, and I want you to be too, at 3 o'clock in here. So don't go far. Secondly, those people who have been selected for jury duty, because we're going to have a jury, I need you to stick up here at the front with me after we adjourn. So the jurors, I need you up in here afterwards. But don't go far. We're going to reset this room, and we're starting at 3 o'clock sharp. We need you in here. The president has one more issue.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Thank you.
Whoa. No problem. clerk's office table. Yeah, I promise. Take a break and come back in. We'll set up some chairs up here for the jury box and set up a table for the judge and get y'all seated. So we'll just do that. Go to the bathroom real quick, get your stuff, and then go back. Take a break, you need to come right back. We'll set you a chance and chairs.
Well, hey, happy birthday.
Did y'all get hot in here?